This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
When it comes to Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, this is a question that I can't get away from. It doesn't matter what video I upload, even if it's not about Joshua or it's not about Fury, I will still get people asking me my opinion as to who is the best and who should be the rightful number one between Fury and Joshua. I get it on social media, on my Instagram and Twitter. I get it when I do the live streams. I can't escape it, so I'm going to do a video dedicated to it. Now, right away, there'll be people already putting in their comments in the comment section, even though I haven't even got down to breaking any of their resumes or my opinion, which of course I will give you my opinion, but people will automatically be doing it because they're making judgments on who they want to win, who they like more, one or the other. Okay, there's a lot of bias, and there's nothing wrong with bias. I'm biased myself. But when it comes to Fury and Joshua, I'm firmly on the fence. As and when these guys fight, I'll be happy for the winner and sad for the loser. Okay, I like them both equally. Okay, now as to who's number one, I will give you my answer as this video goes along. Now, as I said before, please put your comments in the comment section below and make sure you are subscribed as well. Very important. And hopefully everybody's well as well. Now, with both of these guys, what we can all agree on is that they're both done exceptionally well. I know there's a lot of people don't want to give Fury credit. There's a lot of people who don't want to give Joshua credit. But in the reality of it, they both need a hellacious amount of credit. These guys have saved heavyweight boxing. Let's be honest. Between the pair of them, they have put it on the map. One analogy that I kind of use is that when Tyson Fury defeated Vladimir Klitschko is that he unlocked the door, Joshua kicked the damn thing in. That's kind of how I see it. They both are a very good tag team. And believe it or not, they actually like each other. They do actually talk behind the scenes. And I know that for a fact. And many of you guys do too. All right. So the whole hatred of one or the other, listen, just support both of them. And as I said before, I'll be happy for the winner and sad for the loser. Now, a few things to look at when you're thinking about who is actually the number one is a multitude of things, a whole multitude of ways. I'm going to try and break down all of them as this video goes along. I am unscripted, so as always, so I may end up having to forget something, okay? Now, when you look at it, both of these guys are capable of putting on exceptional performances. Both of these guys have shown that they can be front foot dominant and they can be the pure boxer. A little while ago, most people say Joshua by knockout or Fury on points. But now, a lot of people can say, well, both of these guys can win on points and both of them can knock each other out. And if you disagree with me, that's your opinion, okay? But believe me, both of these guys can knock each other out and both of them can win on points. I know a lot of people are drunk on Tyson Fury's last performance against Wilder. A lot of people are drunk on Joshua's last performance against Andrew Ruiz Jr., where both of them showed a whole different side to their fighting style. I get it, okay? But remember, Fury is not Ruiz. Joshua is not Wilder. Okay, both of these guys are far levels above either of those two, okay? So these two, for Joshua and Fury, in my opinion, it's a very close fight. Now, when you look at a lot of these things, you could look at it and say, well, Joshua, he became world heavyweight champion on his 16th professional fight, and he's only had 24 fights right now, and is already unified. Whereas Tyson Fury, he became world heavyweight champion on his 25th professional fight. He's currently got 31. But Fury, he did have 2.5 to 3 year layoff as well. Now, just based on that, where Joshua is right now on his 24th fight, Fury was just looking to become world champion in his fight at that particular time. So again, Fury fans, you need to give Joshua a lot of credit for what he's done. But there are other ways to look at it. When Joshua started belt collecting, and that's what he'd done, he collected all the belts one at a time, which is the long way around and arguably the harder way of doing it, but there were more to choose from. Whereas with Fury, he only had the Klitschko brothers, didn't he? He had Vladimir Klitschko, who held all of the belts bar on the WBC, and he had Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko ended up vacating that belt, Bermane Stiverne got that belt, Wilder got that belt from Bermane Stiverne. So with Fury, the options were far narrower than what they were for Joshua. So again, that's one way to look at it. But of course, when you look at it in other ways, you could say, but Fury, he went to Dusseldorf, to Germany, and ended a 10-year reign, or virtually 10-year reign, of Vladimir Klitschko, a dominant reign. Absolutely, yes, he did, and he put on a boxing clinic. Okay, and I enjoyed that match, and I was on the edge of my seat watching it. I know a lot of people weren't. They're going, "Oh, it's really boring." I was on the edge of my seat watching that, hoping to God and praying to God that Tyson Fury was going to stick to it right up until the 12th round. Okay, so I was very proud of Tyson Fury. Okay, now he did the unthinkable. Not many people were picking Fury to win that fight. When you compare Wilder and Fury, listen, that was a fight, again, where Fury travelled and dethroned a 5-year reigning champion. Yes, Wilder, he's a one-trick pony. Yes, he's got a resume of absolute scrubs. But still, Fury did do that. And yes, it's not Joshua's fault. Joshua did put in multiple offers to Wilder, and Wilder kept turning them down, with the latest one being 120 million. Okay? Could you argue that Joshua could have done more? Maybe, I don't know. But the fact is, Fury went to Dusseldorf, Germany to defeat Vladimir Klitschko, and he went to America and defeated Deontay Wilder. Arguably, we could say twice. Okay? Now, with Joshua, he has also travelled, and he did become world champion for a second time. So both of these guys are two-time heavyweight champions of the world. Both of these guys have avenged the blemish on their record. Joshua avenged the loss, and Fury avenged the draw. Both of these guys have defeated every man that they've stepped foot in the ring with. But Joshua, he did go to Saudi Arabia, and he did win back the belts. Okay? So both these guys have travelled, but Tyson Fury, he's far more comfortable anywhere. Okay? You could probably put Tyson Fury in a boxing match in your back garden, and he's perfectly at home. Tyson Fury is one of these kind of guys that will probably quite happily walk into my house, turn on the TV, and ask me to go make him a coffee. All right? He's very at home in somebody else's atmosphere. Okay? Whereas Joshua, I feel that he's more at home in the UK. All right? But that doesn't mean that these guys can fight abroad and Fury's got the advantage. That doesn't mean that, okay? The styles will make fights. And believe me, both of these guys are capable. While they put on very exceptional performances, both of these guys are capable of putting on poor performances. Both of these guys are there to be hit. Both of these guys have been hit on the button. Both of these guys have hit the deck. Okay? So Fury cannot do to Joshua what he done to Wilder. Joshua cannot do to Fury what he's done to a couple of his opponents. They're totally different styles, and both of these guys will know that. And as I said before, these guys are actually, I don't want to say friends, but they get on very well behind the scenes. So hopefully a lot of the boxing fans do. Now, Joshua, he became champion in his 16th fight, and he had to collect the belts one at a time. Again, it's important to note as well that Tyson Fury, his last 4 opponents have all been undefeated. With Wilder twice, Wallin, Schwartz. All of these guys were undefeated, and yes, he did it away from home. Joshua, when you look at it, yes, he had to go around belt collecting, but while you could look at it and go, well, Joshua's 2 best wins on his resume would be Vladimir Klitschko and Dillian Whyte. Fury's is Klitschko and Deontay Wilder. Okay, so if you compare them, you have to remember the Dillian Whyte of 2015 is not the Dillian Whyte today. Totally different fighter, and it does narc me when people say, but Joshua, he's already beaten Dillian Whyte, why need to see it again? Because it was 5 years ago. Dillian Whyte is arguably the most improved heavyweight on the planet right now. Make of that as you want, but it's a much harder fight, and Dillian Whyte can beat both of these guys. And both of these guys can beat Dillian Whyte. That's my opinion, and so far Dillian Whyte has never proven me wrong. Okay? Now, with Joshua, he's unified heavyweight champion. Fury, he has held every belt that the heavyweight division has to offer. Okay? But who has the rightful claim as being number 1? It's a difficult question because both these guys have achieved a hell of a lot in a very short period of time. And Tyson Fury wasn't supposed to be out the ring for that long and come back and do what he's done. Now, is the win over Wilder impressive? Of course it's impressive. Yes, Wilder, hasn't fought too many great opponents, but again, we don't know how good Wilder was, which is a bit of a shame considering he's had, 44 fights, whatever it is. We should really know, but it's still impressive that Fury did that. And he put on a masterclass, a complete beatdown of Deontay Wilder. But both of these guys have shown that they have a rightful claim to be the number 1. Don't give me that whole Joshua, all the belts that he's got, they're actually owned by Tyson Fury. It's a weak argument. Okay? These are not Tyson Fury's belts. If they were, Tyson Fury would still have them. Okay, so they're not. If Fury wants those belts, he's going to have to go see Joshua. If Joshua wants that Ring Magazine and the WBC, then he's going to have to go see Fury. Neither of these guys have a claim to be undisputed until they fight each other currently. Okay? So none of this, well, they're his belts and they're my belts. And no. Whatever belts Joshua got, they're Joshua's. Whatever belts Fury's got, they're Fury's. Okay? You want undisputed? These guys are going to have a fight. So who has the rightful claim to be number one? Well, they both do. Joshua is unified, whereas Fury, he is still undefeated, but he does have a draw on his resume, but he has avenged it. So both these guys have defeated every man that they've stepped foot in the ring with. They both have a legitimate claim to be number one. As to who you mark number one and number two, I don't care. And I will agree with you. Whatever you say about it, I will agree with you. If you think Joshua's number one, I agree with you. If you think Tyson Fury's number one, I agree with you. But one thing that we all have to agree on is that they both have exceptional resumes. Both of these guys have done huge amounts of work in the heavyweight division. You could probably argue that Joshua has fought more top 10 rated and defeated more top 10 rated than Fury. And yes, he's had 7 fights less than Fury. Yes, you can go with that side too. And it's true. Joshua has. He has done that. But that doesn't mean that he's got more experience than Fury on the big fight night. Not at all. Because Fury, as I said before, he's very at home in any environment. As to who will win on fight night, I have absolutely no idea. As I said before, I'll be happy for the winner and happy for the loser. But I can see an argument for both of these guys winning. And I can see an argument for both of these guys being the legitimate number one. But as to who is number one, well, there's a novelty idea. Put them both in the ring. Let's find out. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.